let's go. Let me screen share with you guys once again, and let's talk personal development. Let's talk leadership development. Let me screen share. Are you guys ready? All right, hopefully you can see that. Let me slideshow this bad boy from the beginning. So I encourage you, in network marketing, there's like this preconceived notion, like how little can I do, right? How little can I do to make the most money? And for some of you, if you have that attitude, I'm going to be honest, you're going to make a little bit of money, but you're not going to make a lot of money. Okay. And you're going to help a few people, but you're not going to help a lot of people. And so my goal always has been and will be, how can we help more people? I say this to Scott all the time, my husband. I'm like, how can we help more people? How can we help more people win with their health? How can we help more people win with their finances? Like, my goal always has been and will be, let's get out and help more people. I'm looking for my notebook for a second. And so tonight I want to talk to you a little bit. If you haven't read the John Maxwell book yet, the 5 levels of leadership, we're just going to go briefly through a couple things, because I want you really to have that mindset shift of, oh, I don't want to do very much, to how big can I grow this? How much money can I make? The sky is the limit, right? I just read this quote today by Novak Djokovic. You guys know him. He's like the top tennis player in the world, right? This guy's unstoppable. He's a force. And he's like, how many titles can I win? And he says, when he talks like that, some people don't like him, right? And he's not saying that because he's arrogant. He's saying that because he's confident, and he always is trying to stretch himself and grow. How many championships can I win? So we really have to move our mindset from how little can I do to how far can I go? How many people can I serve? How many lives can I touch? You know, how many millionaires can I create? This is the newest thing that Scott and I are talking about. Like I said to Scott, let's set a goal to help 100 people on our team make $1 million plus with LifeWave. Like, that's our new goal, because that's a really audacious goal. Like, it's stretching us. Scott's a financial planner, so he helps people make millions in other ways, right? Because he's helping financially, being a financial planner. But for me, it's a real stretch, because most of what I talk about is I want everybody to have $1 million health, right? Because I've been a health coach for 25 years. So for me to say, I want to help 100 people on my team make $1 million plus is definitely a mental stretch for me. It's definitely something that pulls me outside of my comfort zone a little bit, right? Because a lot of people are very hush-hush about money. Remember the old days, they said, don't talk about God, don't talk about politics, and don't talk about money. Well, I realized I'm the person who talks about God, I'm the person who talks about politics, and I'm talking about money. Why? Because all those 3 things have a huge impact in our lives and in our families, in our children's lives, right? Bring God back into everything. Let's start talking politics so that we don't have all this crazy agenda going on. Let's start talking money so we can raise up financially literate children who know how to do their taxes, who know how to invest in the right things, instead of a generation that's being led by a federal government that's trillions and trillions of dollars in debt and is still cutting checks. That's called insanity in my world, right? Like, it's like learning from them. No thanks, right? They don't have it right. And so let's go to the book where it talks about level 1. Level 1 is the first level of leadership that John Maxwell talks about, and it's called position. And it's really an easy one to recognize, because if you are a person that is in a job force or if you've been at a job and you have a manager, you know, a position means a title, okay? A lot of times in the military, there's just titles, right? And so you try to get to the next title or the next rank. And many times those military guys are earning that, right? They're deserving of that. But sometimes they're not. Just like sometimes in the workforce, you just got elevated to the manager status because there was nobody else that interviewed, right? And so you might have somebody in your life that has a title and you're required to follow them, okay? You're required to follow that person, okay? And I always say lots of people can be bossy, but very few can be a leader, right? How many people do you know that are very bossy, but you know what? You wouldn't follow them because they're not a very good leader, right? So there's definitely a difference between being a boss and a leader. And you know, the thing about this level 1 is it's just position. So really anybody can be this. Like, anybody can be a level 1. This is not something that's hard to attain. in your lifetime, if you decide you want to be a manager of some place, you're probably going to hit that goal, right? But that's level 1 leadership according to John Maxwell. The second level of leadership that we're moving to that I think is so powerful to think about, you guys, is going to be the level 2. Now, level 2 is permission. And it's really interesting because in permission, you move from me to we. That at the level 1, you're barking out orders and people are just supposed to follow you because you're the higher up, right? But at level 2, it's more like you're creating relationships with these people. People want to follow you because they want to follow you, right? They don't have to, they want to, right? And so you're really getting to know your people, you're creating some relationships with people, and you really move from that me spirit to we. We're going to do this together. We're moving through this life wave opportunity together, right? And so you'll know when you meet a level 2 leader because they like group things. They're creating and hosting meetings with group things. They're talking about relationships. They're talking about people on their team. That's literally, it's like me to we. Like we are making a difference. We are helping others to grow and become stronger and better and healthier and make money. So the level 2 leader, again, all of you can attain any of these if you decide you want to, right? These people are really good at getting to know their people. Level 2 leaders are really good at getting to know their people and really figuring out how to get along with them. That's kind of a level 2 leader's goal. And that's a great place to be. But I'm going to tell you, I honestly think in network marketing and relationship marketing, people camp out at level 2. They get comfortable camping out at level 2, always getting to know their people, always appeasing everybody, right? They just want to appease everyone. And so what happens is they get stuck at that level 2 and they maybe have great relationships, but what's happening with their teams is they don't have a lot of high production. Because the level 3 leader that John Maxwell discusses in his book is production and results. So what happens with level 2, a lot of people get stuck there. They're always creating relationships. They don't want, anybody left behind. They're recreating systems for somebody who wants to work this business 10 minutes a day, right? And so it's good to create relationships. It's good to build rapport. It's good to actually get to know your people. But at a certain point, you have to decide that we're going to move away just from that pleasant work environment and that pleasant, relationship environment. And we're going to actually move into the realm of results and production, right? We want to actually get things done. We want people not just getting together and BSing. We want people advancing in rank. We want people patching more people, right? And so it's very important as a level 3 leader because now you have relationship, but you're moving to the state of relationship with production. Right? And the morale increases. People are learning, they're growing, the profits increase, everybody starts making money. The turnover decreases, less and less people are quitting, right? And goals are starting to be achieved. And goals, for many people, when they start hitting goals, it is like fuel to their fire. Some of these people, maybe in their day jobs, day jobs sometimes, I don't know too many people that are super excited about their day jobs. And if you love your day job, please stay at your day job. We need you there. I need happy people at day jobs. So when I go through the checkout line and when I go through the bank and I go these places, I got happy, shiny people, right? Laughing and enjoying what they're doing, not miserable, right? So if you love your job, you better stay there and you better work at it and be excellent at that job. But if you're saying, I've had enough of my job, I've had enough of my boss that's barking orders and I don't even respect him. I've had enough of this lifestyle where I can't take a day off when my kids are sick. I've had enough of this job where I don't even have enough money to take a vacation, take my family on a vacation, right? Then this is for you, because as a level 3 leader, not only do you have relationships, you have productivity happening. And guess what happens when you have relationships and productivity? Momentum. Momentum is the name of this game with network marketing. At level 3, you can feel the magic, right? You can feel it. It feels good to be in this realm of leadership because people are hitting goals. You're hearing stories. There's transformation happening, right? You know people's names. You know their stories. You know they're advancing in rank. You know that they're able to pull their kids out of daycare and homeschool them. You know that they are making different decisions because you're close enough to them from the relationships, but they're hitting the results because you didn't get stuck in just relationship building. You said, hey, listen, we're going to be friends, but we got to move you to a level where you can produce and have some results so you can benefit financially, right? So remember, level 3 is a fun place to be. Level 3 is a fun place to be because that is where momentum is happening. Now, some of you are going to say, hey, listen, I feel like I'm a level 3 leader. Like this is happening on my team. I know my people. I know what's happening. And guess what? We've got systems in place. We've got goals set. I'm talking to these people. We're doing Zoom meetings where we're helping them to set the next goal. I mean, look at Steve and Gina with this trip to Mexico. They literally have a goal setting sheet, which we're going to talk about in 1 second. I mean, you talk about leaders. Steve and Gina are level 5. So we'll get to that in a second. Okay. But level 3, good things are happening and you're feeling good about life. Okay. At level 3. So if you're a level 3, you can say, that's me. Level 3, it's happening on my team. Level 4 is people development. Now, this is where it gets a little more hairy because sometimes when you start stretching people from their comfort zone, not everybody likes to be stretched. Some people like detail consciousness and they don't want big vision. They want the details. And if they can't have the details, they're not growing. Some people like big vision and they don't like the details. And that makes them uneasy to have to fill out sheets, right? So at level 4, you're actually, the production is winning the races, right? At level 3, but at level 4, the people development is what wins championships. So production is going to win the race. Like you're going to win the race. You're going to make a pretty good salary and income and be making additional revenue big time. And people on your team are going to be winning. But at level 4, when your people start to develop into all these levels of leadership that we're talking about, you're not just going to win races, you're going to win championships. And I mean, your team, and I'm going to give you an example of something that Scott and I did. We were involved in this company and I like to win stuff. Scott and I like to win stuff. We're both very competitive, like, right? You know, I always say Steve Mayer took it to LifeWave in, 20 days or whatever. And Scott and I went there the second fastest. I would believe it was like 60 days or something like that. But there's no one I would rather follow than Steve and Gina. I mean, those guys are amazing, right? Like, so great. I'm following their lead. I have no problem doing that because they're incredible human beings. We just love them and adore them and are thankful for them. But truth be told, we're competitive. And so I remember one time we went on this trip and the goal was, it was a free cruise. And Scott and I had this goal that we wanted to not only get ourselves on the free cruise, because that seemed relatively easy, we wanted to get as many people on the free cruise as possible. Okay. And when we finally won that, because back then I was reading Level 5 Leadership, John Maxwell. Hey, listen, I read this book back in 2013 or whenever it was launched. I've been reading John Maxwell for literally decades. I've been reading this guy because I think everything rises and falls on leadership. And I think that when you become a better leader, everybody wins. And so what happens is Scott and I were on this cruise. And do you know how many people from our team won the cruise? 50. 50. We had 50 of our friends, family, loved ones. I mean, it was like a friend vacation that somebody else was paying for. No joke, right? And so, I mean, so that's an example of a level 4 development. So what happened was we didn't want to just win the race ourselves. We wanted to win championships. In order to win championships, you need a team. Okay, we wanted our team to win. So the ability to empower others, the ability to invest in followers and the goal to help build leaders. So their goal is not just to win themselves. I don't just want Connie Erlin to win the trip herself. I want her to have Rhonda on the team winning. I want her to have every member of that team that wants to win that free trip to Mexico. I want on that trip, right? And so the teamwork becomes just unbelievable. You know, we say teamwork makes the dream work. I'm telling you what, in the Bible, it's biblical. Where 2 or more gathered in my name, there I will be. A strand of 3 cords shall not be easily broken, right? And so there is power in numbers. When all of you are setting your sight on a goal and saying, let's run at this on your mark, get set, go, right? And you'll always find that level 4 development, like not only are people winning, they're growing. The teamwork is tremendous. And, the people become more and more loyal in that. So if you're having a group of people, they don't fall away. Like the loyalty is just unsurpassed because everybody's growing and learning and, rising everybody together. So, you have the biggest thing about level 4 development is you have so many leaders on your team now and everyone's performance improves because Steve and Gina are great examples of this. Every week they do a different Zoom meeting with a different leader. Now, Tonight you get to hear from me. Maybe you love me, maybe you don't like me. It doesn't, whatever. Like, I'm just here to share the good news with you guys, right? But every week they've got a different leader. Every day they've got a different leader on here. Do you know why? Because they have so many incredible leaders. This is not just Steve and Gina. This is not just Renita and Scott. This is not just Mike and Saeed. This is all the incredible leadership that these guys are helping to establish and raise up as a team. And so now we've got so many leaders to go out and give presentations like I'm giving it to you tonight, that you're bound to learn something from one of us. You know, when you have that many leaders at the table, you're going to learn from somebody, you know, and everyone's performance is going to start get better. It's going to get better and better because you're learning from different people all the time. So I love level 4 leaders. They change the lives of people they lead. They change the lives of people they lead. You know, every day you'll be getting inbox messages when you're a level 4 leader. Thank you so much for helping me to grow this business and share with others. It's changing so many lives. I wake up to miracle inboxes, right? Just hearing the stories last night from Judy and Terry Beatley and all these incredible leaders on our team. It is like gut-wrenching, tear-jerking, and rejoiceful all at the same time, right? It's incredible that we can go through so many emotions. But of course, the fifth level, which is the highest level of leadership, is the pinnacle, right? And at the pinnacle, this is the deal. You're not just going to fall into the pinnacle. Like, you know, I don't like that saying, I'm going to grow this in the nooks and crannies of my business. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. You're not going to become a level 5 leader growing this in the nooks and crannies of your life. Level 5 leadership is completely on purpose. It's completely effort driven. It's completely sharpening the skill. It's completely purpose. It's completely intention of where you want to go. It's utilizing the skill sets and the talents that God's given you and making them better and better, right? And the biggest goal of level 5 leaders is to develop all the level 4 leaders. And that's exactly what Steve and Gina do. I mean, they're just the greatest examples of this, I feel, right? They create level 5 organizations. They're focused on legacy. Now, I don't know if you remember the very first thing I said at the beginning of this meeting. The very first thing I said at the beginning of this meeting is, I believe in generations of health. I believe in generations of wealth creation, right? You know my stance on what I think about the financial state of the world. Like, we have the ability to change that. You have the ability to change that. I have the ability to change that. We don't have to be just like everybody else. We don't have to have health like everybody else. You don't need to compare yourself to your sick coworker anymore. You don't have to compare yourself to your broke sister-in-law anymore. You don't have to compare yourself. This is your journey, and your journey should be like, you know what? I want to see how far I can go. I want to see how many lives I can change. I want to see how many people I can get on that free trip with me. I want to see how much money I can make to see the impact that I'm making in the lives of everybody on my team. Legacy. They're legacy generational builders at level 5s. They're changing the game of health. They're changing the game of wealth for generations to come. You know, in scripture, it says, to whom much is given, much is expected. Level 5 leadership is that person. They are not growing this in the nooks and crannies. That is a lie. Level 5 leadership is going all in. They know lives are at stake. Health is at stake. Families are at stake. Finances are at stake. They are completely devoted to growing level 4 leaders, right? And that's why level 5 leaders are so rare, because so many people in life, they like, you know, dabble in things, dabble here, dabble there, you know. And I said to my team, you know, I'm going to say this, you follow the level 5 leader because of who they are and what they represent. I follow Steve and Gina for who they are and what they represent, you know. And I'm just going to say this, I'm going to stop the share so you can see my face. We started network marketing, and we weren't signed up under Steve and Gina. When we started network marketing, we saw them at a conference, and they started giving a vision for what was happening with their children, how they homeschool their children. And at the time, we had our oldest son in 50 hours a week of daycare. And I was okay with that. And I'm here to tell you, everything changed when I heard Steve and Gina, because they started talking about homeschooling their kids. They were raising Rainey, who was a world champion wakeboarder, right? She was winning world championships all over the world. They gave us a vision of what could be for our health. We left there. We were never on Steve and Gina's team there. I can't even tell you how integrity driven this couple is. Okay? They are so integrity driven. They are not going away. I know people who hit the pinnacle and they sell their businesses. This is not Steve and Gina. Okay. I remember one time I was in Florida and had brought my family down, and we love Steve and Gina. We had got to know them a little bit. We weren't on their team. Anything we did with that previous business did not affect them financially, but we could not bring Monty along, and we needed it because it was really helping our family. And I remember calling Steve and Gina, and I'll never forget it. Her and the girls brought over in their Jeep. They drove the Jeep over and they gave us just a case of Monavie. I think they gave us 2 cases, actually. They gave us 2 full cases. It was a $220 value. And they may or may not even remember that they did this. If they listen to this, they'll hear that they did this. And you know, Scott and I sat back and they wouldn't take our money. They knew that we were a young couple with 3 little boys and we didn't have much. And they said, you know what, you can have it. We love you. We love Scott and Renita. We love these boys. Like, we want you to have it. They just laid that value. They gave us that 220. They didn't know that they were, oh, I want to cry thinking about it. They didn't know that they were sowing into our lives then. I mean, think about this. Bo was 6. He's 23, right? He's 23 now. They didn't know that when my kids were 6 and infants and babies, that they were sowing a $220 investment into our family, and that full circle come back how many years later, over a decade later, and Steve called us, and I thought to myself, we want to be in business with them. Why? We love them. They don't just talk the talk, they walk the walk. They work harder than us. You know something about leadership? Some of you guys are capping your teams. If you're watching this, some of you are capping your teams. You know, it's kind of like, I love John Maxwell. He gives the analogy of the jar and the lid on the jar. And sometimes you're not willing to grow. I've never done it that way before. I need lists. I need everything. Sometimes your lists are holding you back. Sometimes your extreme organization is holding you back. That's going to ruffle some feathers, right? Sometimes your lack of organization is holding you back. Your lack of focus, your lack of goal setting, your lack of time commitment, right? So you got to figure it out, right? But my point is, and when John Maxwell talks about the law of the lid, some of you, if there's a jar and you got all these great leaders in the jar and you're saying, we're only going to do this. I'm only doing this. I'm only doing this. Listen, I want to do whatever helps you guys to win. Okay. I always say, I'm going to follow This Is It info. I'm going to follow This Is It team. By the way, Steve and Gina are launching their brand new business website before the Saturday meeting this Saturday. So if you go to This Is It team, it's going to be the best business building website that you see. You're not going to see another business building LifeWave website that's even close to what they're rolling out. I mean, literally, they're working day and night right now, just like they do everything. How you do anything is how you do everything. Do you know Steve and Gina? Okay. These guys are worker bees. They make people like Scott and I seem lazy. And I think Scott and I are incredibly hard workers, right? And so we can follow their lead. You know why? They've never capped us. They never capped us. They never said, no, you can't do that. Da, 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 da. Hey, you know what? That's what you're going to do to grow your business. Go. So we follow This Is It info. We follow This Is It team. We follow This Is It conference. We follow This Is It. This is the system that we follow because Steve and Gina created it. You know why we follow it? Because they're not level 1 leaders. They're not level 2 leaders. They're not level 3 leaders. And they're not even level 4 leaders. They're level 5 leadership. They took the lid off the jar a long time ago, friends. And so ask yourself in your businesses, are you the lid that's holding your team back because of you unwilling to grow? You say, I'm not going to another conference. Holy cow, check your heart. You need to get registered for the This Is It conference like tonight, just to reset the energy that you're putting out, right? Because everything is energy. And so if you find yourself inhibiting your team, you know, you're not growing, so your team is not growing. Like Scott and I, every day we wake up and say, how much can we do today? How far can we grow? How far can we go? How many leaders can we touch? How many leaders can we talk to? It's never about minimums. It's never about here and there. It's like we are all in because we know this is the business opportunity of our lifetime. Like, this is it. This is it. This is actually it. This is it. For a financial breakthrough that you've been praying for, that you've been looking for with your family, this is it. This is it. There's not another technology in the world that we have. We don't have any competition. We got David at the helm, who's super integrity driven, right? Who's humble as can be, loves the Lord Jesus, and is getting divine downloads to create more technology to help us look younger. I'm in. I am in. Count me in, baby. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to sign off now. You've got 34 minutes to go invite 5, 6, 10, 15 more guests. Work the phone lines, work like your life depends on it, work like you're a level 5 leader or want to be a level 5 leader. Okay, that means you go to work and you say, you know what, you got to get on this, you got to see this, you got to see this technology, you got to hear from my friend Renita. She's been in health for 25 years. The miracles are endless. You've got to hear this. I am not going to quit calling you until you get on one of these Zoom meetings, because it will change your life. It might even save your life. Okay, this is the sense of urgency. This is the dedication you have to have when you call people. You can't be like, oh, do you want to get on? No, I want to watch Heartland. Right? No, I mean, I don't even watch Heartland, but my mom watches it. And so, like, what do you want to do? Like, you need to catch their attention. You need to catch their attention so they stop the scroll. They stop this sitting around and mindlessly doing stuff that's not producing them health or wealth, right? It's actually contributing. It's actually contaminating their health and wealth, right? Just watching TV. Plus, it's not good for their brains. So I encourage you guys, get off right now. And hopefully this has been advantageous to you guys, talking about just level 5 leadership. And I want all of you to be level 5 leaders, because that's the legacy leaders. If you want to be a legacy leader, you're creating legacies of health. You're creating legacies of wealth and financial freedom. And I'm going to say it one final time. No one achieves anything great by searching for the minimum, by achieving the minimum. I want to do the minimum amount of activity. No one achieves anything great with that mentality. To whom much is given, much is expected. It says in scripture, we have been given a gift from God. Literally. It says in the book of James that every good and perfect gift comes from God, the Father of heavenly light. Are you kidding? Thank you, Jesus. We have been given this gift. So for whom much is given, much is expected. Are you doing your part to get out and create the legacy with your own family, with other families, of health and financial freedom? That's my question for you. With that being said, I got to go. You officially got 32 minutes to go invite 5 people to the 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern Zoom meeting that we're going to be doing. The same link. I'll see you soon. God bless you guys. May the Lord bless you, keep you, and shine his face upon you all the days of your life. Make sure you go drink some electrolytes. Shine bright like the sun, baby. Come on.